heard of 3D printing? Awesome. And how many have access to a 3D printer? All right, this is not the viral we were looking for. So one of the more popular 3D printers out there is the RepRap. It's built with a ton of open source technology, such as Arduino, Linux, and GitHub. Open source is something we're really passionate about. Our team is actually building a RepRap right now. Still got a ways to go, but when we're done, we're going to be able to print out the parts to get a second build going. Emily's going to tell us a little bit about how this all works.
All right. So the basic principle behind 3D printing is that with the addition of successive layers, you can create a three-dimensional object. Take, for instance, a single sheet of paper. Alone, it's nothing, but if you combine it in a stack, then you have a three-dimensional rectangular box shape. Some of the more common types of 3D printing are extrusion, selective laser sintering, and stereolithography. With extrusion, you're working with heated plastic that comes out. And then with selective laser sintering is the most versatile of all the 3D printing methods because it can be used with thermoplastics, metal, or ceramic. And here you can see in figure 1, that is the apparatus that moves the laser beam, and in figure 2, that is the laser beam tracing away through the powder. As the laser hits the powder, it solidifies it and fuses it to the layers beneath it.
Complicated. So we're seeing a lot of pop culture references starting to crop up with 3D printing. One of my favorite references is any Big Bang Theory fans out there? Okay. Kuthar, Polly, and Wolowitz, they actually got a 3D printer and printed action figures of themselves just because they thought it was cool. There's big demand for 3D printing. We saw this with the 3Doodler project on Kickstarter. They set out to raise $30,000, and in 35 days they raised $2.3 million. That's $66,000 a day.
But you know, just because you own a 3D printer doesn't necessarily mean that you have the ability or the desire to create things that are aesthetically pleasing or useful. But luckily with the open source community, you're in good company. Here's a website called Thingiverse where any designer can upload their 3D file and they can print it out. Like this. Anyone with a 3D printer can print it out. Here's an example of the collaboration that goes on this website. One person designed the gears, and another person did the case.
A third designer took these two, mashed them up, and made a pretty cool iPhone case.
Innovations are also being made in the medical realm with 3D printing. This is a case where a lady needed a new jawbone, so they were able to print her a titanium jawbone using the selective laser sintering method. And they gave her a bone replacement, which is really cool. There's also other developments in the medical realm where they're using bioink to print out human stem cells. And they're viable human stem cells, which is a really big deal because what they want to be able to do is inject the stem cells back into the person and for them to be able to regrow their organ without invasive surgery.
One of the projects I've been watching is the nMove project. It started out in May of 2012. They originally intended to model a human hand using 3D printing. Today, this project consists of not only the 3D hand, but the head, the torso, and the arms, all fully animatronic. A 3D printed car is set to hit the market in the next few years. The designers, once they get it road ready, are going to drive this 3D car from San Francisco to New York City on just 10 gallons of biofuel. NASA's looking into 3D printing. They want to print moon bases, and they're going to use their six-legged robot, the Athlete. The Athlete will be able to use microwaves, solar energy, and lunar dust to actually print these. There's technology and 3D printed food. Does not look appetizing.
Foie gras, anyone?
Yeah, right? And yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It just looks bad.
Okay, so one of the topics that comes up with 3D printing is copyright law. So what's to prevent somebody with a 3D printer from going to the store, buying a box of Legos or a Barbie, and coming home and printing out their own based on what they have?
What's wrong with that? Really? Anything?
Okay, so 3D printing isn't new. It's been around since the end of the 20th century, and it has, as we've seen, it has tons of applications. So why aren't we doing this at home?
It costs a lot of money.
Yes, 3D printing machines are very expensive.
It's a big stack of money.
But 3D printing has opened up a whole new world where if you can dream it, you can print it.
We're really excited, or it's been really exciting to watch the 3D community, or 3D printing community, kind of take shape over the last few years. This technology is going to keep getting better and better. Last slide.
One thing that you have to remember is that with open source, it's built around the people around it. The community is what makes it. So we want to see bright new minds that are really excited about 3D printing as much as we are.
And in order for 3D printing to go truly viral, the cost needs to come down, and they need to get more user-friendly. And hopefully, you all can help us out with that. Thank you.
For your time.